Hello and welcome to Diamonds and Duds. I am Ivan.
And I am Charles Baker. Welcome.
Welcome to episode 21, Fountain of Youth.
Fountain of Youth. Fountain of Youth is on Apple TV. Just came out this year, 2025. A treasure hunting mastermind assembles a team for a life-changing adventure. But to outwit and outrun threats at every turn, he'll need someone even smarter than he is, his estranged sister.
And I think they were assuming hilariousness would ensue. We'll get to that. That may or may not have occurred.
Yeah, so I would say this is sci-fi adjacent. There's sci-fi, we're a sci-fi review. If you go through and watch this movie with us, there are sci-fi elements both directly in the movie, and I mean, not to spoil anything on my side, but I think it was kind of something science fiction happened to get this made.
Yeah, and if you're going into it expecting like a Star Wars level of sci-fi, it's not that, but it's not like you're watching The Office, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This was directed by Guy Ritchie. If that name sounds familiar, it should. He did Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and a bunch of other stuff since then that not a lot of people have seen, I don't think.
So, a lot of the stuff, I love the movie Snatch. Probably my top 15, 20 movies of all time. It's one of Brad Pitt's best performances. If you ever watch it, it's funny because on the DVD has a subtitle. You can't understand a darn thing Brad Pitt says by design in that movie. But I don't really like most of his rest of his stuff since.
And one thing that I saw an interview with Brad Pitt recently that I absolutely loved, and granted he can do this because of where he's in his station. Station's the wrong word in life. Where most actors will back themselves up 3 or 4 movies, and because you and I were talking recently about how I've been going through ER, because truthfully, between you and me, it's something that makes me think of my mom, because Mom always used to absolutely love ER. Yeah. And one of the famous things, and I know this kind of is off on a tangent a little bit, is that Noah Wyle famously missed out, as he'll talk about, just a metric crap ton of roles because he was already booked. And people always wonder how that never happened to Brad Pitt. The reason that doesn't happen to Brad Pitt, guys, is because he only signs up for the movie he's doing currently.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's good to bring up ER in this because it is good to dedicate at least a little bit of this particular episode of podcast to something that does not suck cowballs.
Yeah. and I'll say, any of you that have HBO, go through. I'm not saying to go through and watch all 15 seasons. It's a good watch, especially if you're interested in cinematography. Charles's wife absolutely loves it, and I believe his mother-in-law likes it.
Oh, yeah, she's gone through it.
It's one of the best cinematography shows probably ever made. It's something where in the mid-'90s they would have these camera takes that were like 4 minutes long in the middle of a 40-minute long episode. Anyway, but getting back to what I normally do, this was written by James Vanderbilt. If that name sounds familiar, Charles, he put his name into the movie.
Yeah, he did.
And this is the person who wrote the new Screams, and he wrote all the Garfield Spider-Mans.
Wait. Oh, okay. I mean,
that was about all I could find that he had written.
I mean, I haven't seen any of the new Screams, but some of them I know were supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. This got a 30... I'll be absolutely honest. This is one of those movies, Charles, where I hadn't looked at it much ahead of time. I'm like, oh, John Krasinski's talented. I like him for the most part. Yeah. I find Natalie Portman very entertaining in 99% of what she's in. Oh, fuck. It got 35% by critics and 38% by audiences. And I've never found a more perfect critic review, Charles, of it. For a few years now, I've wondered if everyone over-calculated John Krasinski's likability. Guy Ritchie confirms that for us.
Yeah. One thing I will say, I'm a big Natalie Portman fan, and I don't know that she fully does this here, but I'm gonna say that now that I feel that Natalie Portman has the tendency in certain cases to half-ass. She half-assed. What was it? Thor 2. Thor 2. She it's on record that she gave no shits. I think she half-assed, and I understand a lot. She half-assed a lot of the Star Wars trilogy. I don't necessarily blame her there. So, I do like her, but there's times where she's not exactly all in. I'm sure that's true with a lot of actors. And this is the first time I'd seen John Krasinski in a non-office role, because I haven't seen. I know he's been Jack Ryan or whatever, and stuff. I haven't seen The Quiet Place. I know he's got some talent behind the camera. I don't think he has talent outside of Jim in The Office in front of the camera.
I think he might be. See, I have seen. I don't think I've seen all of Jack Ryan. I like Jack Ryan, but I think it got in trouble with some of that, with some stuff that a lot of TV shows on non-networks have gotten into. Because I think Wednesday just got into this, and I think one of the shows Rita likes. I forget what it is.
AJ, the long distance between them.
Yeah, it just has these giant amounts of, and that's what Jack Ryan has.
Yeah, because to me, he's the worst. There's a lot I don't like about this movie. He's absolutely the worst part about this movie for me. He is just absolute shit in this movie.
There's a number of times where, because those of you listening, we've all seen The Office, and we know the part that I'm talking about, because there's a part that he's famous for doing in The Office that he does a lot, where eventually he just sort of looks to the camera and just sort of shrugs.
Yeah,
smirks or shrugs or whatever. And he kind of tries to do that a lot.
Yes, exactly. This feels like a half-assed Jim from The Office performance. And I'm sure he has other stuff where he's done other things. I mean, A Quiet Place is supposed to be this legendary movie, so I'm sure he doesn't act.
It's probably because he doesn't talk.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it either.
But he is just, to me, I'm like, okay, this guy needs to know his lane and stay in. Because I honestly think if you had taken him out of this role, you would give him the role to somebody else, somebody competent, then I don't think you have a great movie, but I think the movie will still have flaws, but I think the watchability would have gone up.
I would agree. It's one of those things where it's like, as you're watching this, it seems like there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, I don't know a ton about Guy Ritchie, but I know his name enough to think that he has a lot of pull.
Married to Madonna, or he used to be.
Yeah,
at one point
that's
married
true.
to Madonna. I don't know
but
if
it seems, and I don't know this for sure, but it felt like some of the stuff in this felt like, oh, we need to have XYZ in the movie, and it's just sort of,
His issues as a filmmaker started, remember, if you recall, it was like 1 or 2 movies after Snatch. He directed the Madonna. He directed a movie with his wife Madonna. And it's just, I don't know if it's called Shipwrecked or something like that, but it was just legendarily bad. Now, I think he's had, I'm sure he's had good stuff since then. Matter of fact, The Gentleman, very recently, fantastic movie directed by. He's just been up and down since this notorious movie where he directed Madonna years ago. But yeah, so the beginning is okay. Kind of get some National Treasure. Vibes in the beginning.
Yeah.
You got your, we're in an Asian country. I'm not sure I don't think they say, but basically he's chasing some guys. He has a stolen painting, and
he has a stolen painting on his back, and he's on kind of a motorcycle / moped that they're kind of running around. And I will say that the lady who's chasing him, I did like quite a bit. Yeah, so there's during this course, there's 2 different groups that chase him. During the first part proper, it's just these bad guys, because you kind of get the impression that this particular painting he didn't steal from a museum. He stole from somebody else who had stolen it at some point. And these guys, and then I did really enjoy it because he's trying to catch a train. Yeah.
I did enjoy how when the train, and then once on the train, we get the lady who's a different group of people that we find out later.
Yeah.
And then I do enjoy her. She's one of the people in the movie I enjoyed.
And like when you're talking about the half-ass, there was a half-ass part here by John Krasinski, which I know it was the line, but he didn't exactly try and sell it a lot when he was talking about his 4 bodyguards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like again, yes, half-assed. He escapes from these 2 different group of people. It sets up, we're supposed to believe that there's some chemistry between him, and that kind of felt a little cliched and forced the entire time, frankly to me. But I thought she was fine. And then soon after that, we get introduced to our other lead, Natalie Portman.
Yes, and Natalie Portman, she is in London. She is was it a curator? Am I
Like a curator at a
curator?
museum.
That's I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. She's a curator of a museum. We'll find out more in a little bit. What kind of what had her and her brother both kind of go into art.
Yeah, and she's in the middle of divorce proceedings with her husband. Divorce proceeding, and it's clear though that they really rich in this divorce proceedings.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like they're really rich, but like during the course of it, they weren't sure if they wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
But it was kind of bizarre. And it was also kind of bizarre where basically they're really rich. John Krasinski, there's another painting in there that he ends up stealing.
Yes.
And she ends up chasing, which makes sense as a curator.
Yeah.
Except that that's her brother, and they assume she's involved.
Yes, and because she was literally in the room while he did it.
Yeah.
And I even here, I'm like, I was already kind of not sold on John's performance. It feels like he's trying to channel like a scoundrelly Harrison Ford from Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, but he just doesn't hit it. He doesn't even hit, I've only seen the first National Treasure, which I thought was it's been a long since I've seen it, but it was good. Nicolas Cage was, kind of played that kind of role well as well, but John Krasinski just can't hit anything. And at times it feels like they're trying to be too clever.
It sounds like many times they're trying to be too clever. It seems like they get to the end of a scene and they're like, oh, fuck, we have 5 minutes. We need to wrap this up. And they just sort of end everything really quick is what happens a lot.
So then basically we meet this his crew, which I say is the same crew from Dad, who I guess Dad was a treasure hunter and who's passed away, obviously. There are a couple members of the crew that you may recognize.
Yes.
I recognize, one, Murphy, the African-American guy, he's from The Boys.
Yes. Laz Alonso.
Yep, and so I really enjoy him in The Boys. He has absolutely nothing to do in this movie, and it kind of pissed me off. He's just there.
It seems like they really kind of wasted him.
And also, we have a rich benefactor. He's looking for the fountain of youth because he has liver cancer. The benefactor, I'm pretty sure, was in the Harry Potter films. I'm pretty sure he was one of Ron Weasley's older brothers, but I believe he might have even been the one that was also in Star Wars. He was in the Star Wars trilogy, like the sequel trilogy.
Yep.
He was basically the gingerbread. I think he ended up in the spoilers for this new Star Wars trilogy.
I haven't seen it, and maybe this ends up on one of our ones we watch, but it sounds like he was one of the stars of Ex Machina.
Oh, nice. So he's been around and done things, but yeah, he's he's basically trying to look for the fountain of youth, and so it's an interesting concept, and I'm like, at that point I'm kind of on board, but the acting is just really dull by everybody so far.
Yes, one of the things I didn't like, and this kind of goes back to what I've said a number of times, I didn't like the fact that John Krasinski, by doing this, he knowingly causes his sister to not be able to be like not be able to get her kid in a divorce.
Yes, exactly. Like, she's now wanted, and just the wanted aspect. I'm gonna get to that later. Just how seriously we take being internationally wanted by the entire world. But like. So we have zero chemistry to find out. Like there's kind of a lot of National Treasure. There's little pieces to message.
And that part I found cool.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is that like there were 6 paintings they needed to find as the first step. They didn't dwell a lot on it. They didn't dwell on a bunch of useless crap.
No.
It was like something on the back that they had to find, which led them to the next step. And that kind of thing I found really intriguing.
Yeah, and so basically what is Portman's painting was supposed to be the last one. But it turns out it's a fake.
And this brings up one of the interesting things. It was a fake where the fake was done by the original artist.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And so the first thing they kind of figure out, okay, so they figure out where the actual real painting got sunk in the bottom. It's in a ship that got sunk in the bottom of the ocean.
Yep. And one thing I want to mention that we skipped over a little bit too. One other actor we talked, the inspector. Which I also think, I know you were kind of upset about the boys guy. I was kind of upset they wasted this guy, Charles. You probably don't know him a ton.
Oh, yeah, he's from Succession.
He's from Succession, and he was in...
I've only seen a couple episodes.
He was in 25 episodes.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of Succession.
And also, not only that, but if you're a fan of this guy, you need to, write... I think this is Apple TV, because, this guy comes across because his character is like he's an Interpol, international criminal agency. He comes across as a goddamn moron when you just think about I swear he comes across as someone with just the logic. Most of the movies just make no sense aspects are directly tied to just when you think about just how inept Interpol apparently is. And so I felt bad. Yeah, I felt bad for this guy.
And I have no problem with Interpol Interpol kind of being inept. It's just that it felt like a lot of the times it was, oh crap, we have 10 minutes left. Oh, he's here. Let's have him just do something to get us to the next scene.
Yeah, because again, that's not his. Because he's following John Krasinski and his group, and so we're going to see him a couple of times. My big issue with him and Interpol is really just at the ending, which we'll get to it. But this movie has one of the all-time shit endings.
Yeah,
there's nothing positive about the final 25 minutes of this movie.
It has a lot of the things I like to say where they just sort of didn't think stuff through.
Yeah. 'Cause much of this movie I didn't like. But I didn't hate.
Yeah,
it was boring. It was a poor copy for a lot of it.
It was one of those things where I was like, oh, it's this kind of a summary action movie on a scale of 0 to 5 star. It's probably going to be 2.5 and have an okay ending. And it's for what I'm looking for out of a summer movie. For me, that's perfectly fun. Do I want something better? Well, sure. But I'm like, oh, yeah, it'll be no. Yeah. But there's also, let's talk then about they find out where the painting is underwater.
Yeah, out in the middle of the ocean, got sunk in a ship in a safe that then has presumably been airtight.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm going to drop here, Charles, as a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, John Krasinski's group. And I'm not talking about the benefactor, the guy funding everything.
Yeah.
The rest of the crew, they're the bad guys. I'm not kidding. Virtually everybody that dies in the movie is because of them.
Yeah.
Every person that dies in this movie almost is because of John Krasinski, Natalie Portman, and the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Not only this, I'm going to postulate something. although this movie does not, technically, this movie does not have ghosts. In the supernatural, there is a ghost. That one of the characters becomes a ghost from this point on. Because what I could say, so they got. First of all, I'm actually impressed. Okay, I know the guy has a lot of money, but every single one of these people right now is internationally wanted. Okay, they're wanted by like every country in the world, but yet they make a point of saying this. But like at no point are we acting like we're wanted.
More than that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a part later where the cop from Interpol sees our benefactor. Yeah. If he's a fucking billionaire, he's the richest person here.
Yeah.
And they never mention that anybody knows who he is.
Nope. So they are using this stuff to go. They're bringing. Basically, they're gonna. They have this. They know exactly what's at. They use different stuff to like. Basically, they're going to temporarily bring this part of the ship up with like air stuff and whatnot.
And that part I thought was perfectly. It's one of those things where in an action movie they explain what they're doing. I don't need it to work exactly perfectly, and for all I know, it does.
Yeah.
I don't need it to work as perfectly as it would in real life. I just need them to explain it in one sentence so that something makes so it can make logical sense in the course of the movie, which they did.
Yeah. And so basically
they won't later.
Yeah. So they find they find the penny. Meanwhile, a helicopter comes in. Now keep in mind we're in the middle of the ocean. So the presence of a helicopter is confusing. Now you might be like, okay, maybe there's a big giant ship that we just never see that the helicopter takes off from.
Which then you need just a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
You need a line of dialogue when the ship leaves, when the helicopter leaves. You go, we need to go get fuel real quick.
Yeah.
You just need something like that.
Yeah. And so it's clearly far enough away so that they didn't see it. We don't see it. But what it is, it's the woman from the train, with some chemistry, and this is where I don't know. She died.
Oh, yeah, she had to have. This is like the first run of people that Krasinski's group horribly murders.
Yeah.
Because she ropes onto the ship with like 3 or 4 other people with machine guns.
Yeah.
And I think they all died.
Yeah, including her because and then it only stays afloat for a certain time but not only that, so she's using a pistol. Okay, at one point because they're fighting and one errant shot goes in the air and that one errant shot takes out the helicopter from pistol. So the helicopter's gone. Now I'm like, okay, that's kind of bullshit, but okay.
Yeah, at least
it's stupid. But
unlike
okay.
a lot of other stuff in this movie, they addressed it.
Yeah, at least the helicopter didn't blow up. The helicopter just went back.
It just didn't disappear.
Yeah, it just went back. I'm like, okay, stupid, but whatever. So then, John Krasinski and group, they escape sinking thing and they get back, with their ship. The lady does not escape the sinking thing.
She just sort of shows up later because they're like, oh crap, we forgot to write this in, but she's probably the 3rd most popular actress in here, so we need her to still be in the movie.
Yeah.
Is basically what I think happened is that Guy Ritchie was going to kill her there, but then the studio's like, no, we paid her a lot of money, so she's still in it. And he's like, shit.
Yeah, so she sunk with it. John Krasinski and group said, fuck it. They didn't try to go get her. The helicopter was gone, and so the ship was nowhere near. So sunk and died.
Hence, John Krasinski's group is the bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's not because their benefactor starts trying to kill everybody later.
Yeah.
It's just like they were already fucking doing this.
Yeah, so I wrote here, so we're assuming the lady died, right? She sunk in the middle of the ocean and the helicopter had left.
Okay, that's not my early on my biggest problem is the next scene.
Go for it.
Okay, well then they bring it back and they find out that the painting they have has the last little clue they need, and they're in whatever their clubhouse is to start working on. Hey, where do we need to figure it out what the next thing is? And well, the cop that Charles was talking about has been following them. So it's like, he's like, hey guys, you're like under arrest and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have 6 internationally stolen paintings and you're all in the room with them.
Yes.
So it's like, we kind of got you.
Yeah, we got your pretty goddamn red head.
Yeah. And then at that point, I think the only reason the other group was in there, because then the first group from the beginning that Krasinski steals the stuff from comes in with like guns and shit.
Yeah.
Okay? And then Krasinski makes a deal with them to say, hey, can you like let all of our other people go and just take me? And the cops are like, no, you're like all under fucking arrest. But the other guys are like, nah, we're in charge. And like they let all of them go. And then Krasinski does something so that so that they start killing the cops.
Yeah.
Like murdering all those fucking cops except the one that the studio paid the most money to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it took out the other.
He might be a ghost too.
I mean, how did Interpol not have like the exits covered? I mean, Interpol has like, a pretty good budget. They're an international like crime organization. Like they've probably done this before. So they probably have like backup like this. Like it wouldn't be a scenario where like these random other bad guys would just be allowed to fucking walk in a building.
I mean, if you watched The Shield from the 90s, they would like, whenever a group went in to arrest somebody, they would have other people like watching them. And we're like, God, this makes you old. Like 30 years from that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but also, we're in the 2020s, and they've stolen 6 paintings that are probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Why aren't their pictures just sort of like everywhere?
I know, right? So then, occasionally in the background we're kind of because husband was like, yeah, no, I'm taking custody, fuck you, but he's like, hey, now I gotta go work in Japan now, so like can you come get the kid, and so she comes to get the kid. Now, one thing, a subtle thing that catches, like he's going to work for the benefactor, so you kind of think like, okay, the benefactor. So Natalie Portman so now the kid joins the movie, and now we get to see how
I forgot one other crucial problem I had with the shootout.
Yeah,
all of those like paintings that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars are now destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there was a giant shootout in a small area.
Confined space. Oh, okay, God, yes.
Go ahead.
So, like, we get to see now for the rest of the movie just how much of a shitty mother Natalie Portman's character is. Because they're all in private plane, they're going, and I said, what's the first thing she does? She gets fucking wasted with her son, 10-year-old son, just like 2 seats over.
Yeah. I thought that was funny, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down like maybe Dad should have custody. I mean, she took her son. It's like I say, she's wasted, and now like she had him join a bunch of international criminals, and so like I don't know that she's the best, influence. But now they're going to look for this book that's like the It's like the Bible.
It's like the bad.
It's bad Bible.
I would say the bad Bible, but between you and me and whoever's listening, Charles, it's just kind of this is the actual one. The bad Bible. It's like.
This is like
I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, it's like this one's still has supposed to have
a typo.
A couple typos that made it like thou shalt commit adultery. I think it said.
Yeah.
And again, this aspect. Look at it again. National Treasure vibes here of
which
maybe
I kind of a raunchier. Yeah, and so I'm like I thought this for the most part this part was perfectly fine.
Yeah. First of all, at the time I wondered how the lady knew they were there. Looking back, and now we learn later on that she's actually a group of protectors. She knows the whole route. So that actually, in retrospect, we found out that made sense. What doesn't make sense, so this book is in a big old museum, like basically museum. They're going to go in on the level and look at it. Again, these are internationally known criminals. They give their own goddamn names.
The other problem The problem I had was later explained when they deciphered this. But the problem I had at the time is, why don't they look up a copy of the Wicked Bible online? Because, it's the 2020s and you can find everything online.
Yeah.
Now, granted, when they went and there's a reason they did that. Is because they went and solved that you needed the actual physical Bible.
Yeah. So, and then during this, it's important to note that our billionaire benefactor does not go with them. He's in a restaurant with the kid.
Drinking with the kid.
Yeah, drinking with the kid. And yes, the kid was drinking too.
Yeah.
This kid's like 12. And so they get, while they're leaving, there's some people that try to attack. We think maybe it's like the protector people. They don't never really say. But then we see a sudden side of the benefactor here, where he beats the living shit.
Yeah, it's like they do this and they never mention it.
Exactly, they never mention it. Like he's like
he's like fucking John Wick.
Yeah,
or Jackie Chan.
Exactly,
or some
like
shit.
all of a sudden, he just beats the living shit out.
You know
of
what
him.
I think it was? I think it was like Guy Ritchie got to this scene. He's like, "Oh fuck, the actor knows karate. Yeah. Let's just do that." I think it's literally what happened.
And so they're trying to figure out that they end up stealing the Bible, and they're in a hotel room trying to figure shit out. And of course now it's let's have the kid. The kid's going to be important now. The kid's going to solve something.
Yeah, basically the kid solves it, which I didn't have a problem with. But it's like that the kid solves it because the parents are too dumb and drunk.
Yeah,
and
it's like music.
But also, they don't have the guy from The Boys there for any particular reason.
Nope. He's just not there.
He's like, hey, we got to hire somebody from The Boys.
Yeah. And so it's music, because the kid's a musical prodigy. And so they're like, all right, so basically the Fountain of Youth is...
And there's easier ways they could have explained this.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're going to have the kid important to this part, just have Natalie Portman with him in the beginning when she's chasing Krasinski, and then just have it start from there. Because then they're all together, and you don't have all this stupid shit.
Yeah. And so we learned that the Fountain of Youth is under the pyramids.
Yeah.
Great Pyramids of Giza. So they go to Egypt, and this is where, this movie's already bad. This is where this movie fell apart.
Oh, it falls apart like crazy. Yeah. And I also think that when when Stanley Tucci signed on to do this, and then he read the script, he's like, oh, fuck. Yeah. I want to be in this as least as possible.
Yeah, I want one scene.
He's like, I know I'm probably the third most popular actor, but I'm only going to be in here once.
Yeah, I'll be here a fucking day.
And I'm showing up at noon.
Yeah. So, because he's benefactor, and here's where you're like, okay, so the women basically, they're protecting the secret of the Fountain of Youth, don't want it to get out and whatnot. And so the group goes to the pyramids, and the group has grown from the 5 to about 30, because our benefactor has the most jarring fucking heel turn you've ever seen in a goddamn movie.
I was saving this question for because my brother, guys, is notoriously able to sniff out any heel turns or any turns in movies. It's rare for my brother to ever be caught by a. Did you?
I mean, I thought there was it was very likely that he didn't have cancer and that he wanted to monetize the Fountain of Youth. I did not think that he was going to suddenly bring an army.
You didn't think he was the bad guy.
No, I didn't think that he was suddenly... He's the bad guy. He's bringing an army. He's just going to fucking blow up the pyramids, the last ancient wonder of the world, as option number one. As option number one, he's going to bring more mortars and shit.
Basically, guys, what happens is that he knows somebody in Egypt, and they did a thing where they found out, hey, there's something underneath the pyramids. There's some chamber nobody's been in, which is all fine and dandy. They get to that, and Natalie Portman and Krasinski are like all starting to look for the way down. He's like, "What the fuck are we doing that for?" And he just fucking grabs a drill.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna fucking no, we're not gonna try to. This is remember the movie they're trying to emulate for much of this is National Treasure, a movie. Like, is there some action here and there? Yes, in National Treasure. National Treasure, at least again, I haven't seen the second one. I assume the second one's similar. Is all about like solving these like these puzzles and this and that's kind of one. It's supposed to be like a National Treasure ripoff, which could have been okay, but like. Nicolas Cage didn't decide, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna fucking burn the Declaration of Independence.
The other thing I thought was, let me give something positive about the movie. Yeah. This is one of the few movies about the pyramids that shows that the pyramids are right in the middle of Cairo.
Yeah.
Which I understand why most movies don't do that. Yeah. But also, the thing I have always, and I've never been to the pyramid, so I could be completely off base about what I'm about to say. My assumption is that they're monetized.
And guarded in some way. I mean, certainly.
Yes! Is that I assume that there's a major part, guys, that's something that's missing from this movie. And that's anybody from Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah, like, this army...
There's nobody from Egypt at the pyramids. Like, once the shooting starts happening, no cops, and which we'll talk about the shooting in a second, but nobody from Egypt ever comes.
Yeah.
The cops that we've talked about a few times don't get Egypt involved.
Yeah. So, like, keep in mind, this army, when I say army, I'm being legit. They didn't just bring machine guns. They brought mortars. They brought stationary, like, heavy grade, like if you've ever seen like Band of Brothers, like the anti-aircraft guns. Basically.
They also brought heavy, like, construction equipment to break through shit.
This is the last ancient wonder of the world. Suddenly, this guy's like, this is option A. So this is where, again, Interpol is. If I'm Interpol, I fucking sue this movie, because like there's like then so like Interpol guy, because it's the finale, so they come up. There's like 10 different vehicles and
because why be cautious?
But then what they do, they see all these guys like, you know what? All right, all these vehicles stay there. We're just gonna have one. We're just going to have all the other vehicles stay there. One guy's going to come. And it's just the lead.
It's Succession guy and somebody else who's driving.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I want to come in. And the army's like, no, fuck you. And then go back. And finally, like, Interpol guy's like, all right. He's going to leave. He's like, okay, guys, we're going to. But, like, all the vehicles are in, like, mortar range and stuff. So Interpol just immediately has, like, 70% of the people killed just because of the goddamn stupidity.
Yeah. And also, we forgot to mention that for some reason, there was no real reason for the rest of the Krasinski team. There was no reason other than wasting real-life money hiring the actors.
Yeah. Because
what they also did is that they left those actors just simply sitting outside the pyramids.
Yep. They just stayed outside. This is where, like,
not doing anything, not watching anything, not.
And then at a certain point, they're like, because like there's a girl that like she's like what side are we gonna be on? Like we're gonna wait. So eventually they decide to choose the Interpol side, and they kill a couple of of the army guys, and then they get trapped. Interpol saves them, but Interpol like. What reason does Interpol have to be like, okay, you guys are cool now?
Interpol doesn't save them. The lady does.
Oh yeah. The protectors
do.
But like the remaining Interpol people at the end, why are they? Because we'll get there's like. Bye.
We want to forget all this happened.
Because during this, they're like they're going down to the different to the belly of the Fountain of Youth, and we finally do get to the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, because the other thing is that there was like supposed to be a puzzle in the room they get down to. There's supposed to be a puzzle, and they're like, nah, fuck it, let's just like break it.
Yeah.
but the kid solved it first.
Yeah,
But
the
you know,
kids sold it before they. Again, it's such a jarring heel turn.
What's funny is that Natalie Portman's, can't we just take like shouldn't take any more than at most like an hour to figure this out. That's way too long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. But then you find out he's not.
Yeah, he's not.
But then what's the big hurt?
He doesn't have cancer. He just wants to monetize. At which point, why aren't we? Why is it necessary for us to destroy the pyramids? Especially when no one in Egypt is there. So, like, you had.
It's just like apparently Cairo was like abandoned or like attacked by zombies or something.
Yeah, and so like you kind of, as you see, there's kind of like kind of like Last Crusade cut vibes, where like you gotta be worthy.
Last Crusade had better CGI.
Oh god, yeah, yeah, because like the people like when they step in, they haven't even drunk it, they start floating, and like if you drink from it, then yeah, you'll be healed, and so you'll be healed, but like if you drink from it, like you'll live forever or whatever, but like your favorite people will die or whatever.
Which is an interesting, like, they didn't think through the whole goddamn thing.
No, and like, so for example, again, Benefactor in this, just, going for broke heel turn, decides, okay, yeah, John Krasinski, so he shoots him in the shoulder. Okay, yeah, now you got to do it. So he steps in, and he decides that's not enough. He puts like 12 bullets in John Krasinski.
But also, the other thing is like, there's like, I called him Uber Cop.
Yeah.
The Uber Cop, or Uber Soldier, I mean, that's with the rich guy.
Yeah.
Why didn't that guy ever have a speaking part?
I know, right? He's just kind of there.
He's kind of there with that cop mustache.
And there's no payoff either.
No, he's just sort of
no
like
fight or
on their run up, he like falls or something.
Yeah, and so like basically, John Krasinski makes a good decision. Benefactor bad, Protector turns the key to seal whatever the fuck.
Because basically the Protector had something where they could turn it off. All of this sounds intriguing, but not very well thought through. Because it's like, but also it's like if the Benefactors know all this shit's here and they're worried about it, why didn't they just move the fucking Bible or that kind of stuff or
so
tell Cairo or
so. Bad guys go away. John Krasinski and stuff. They get out, and then just like Interpol's just like, okay, we're just gonna blame everything on the dead Benefactor. You guys can all go for stealing all those paintings and causing us all to die.
How else can they have a sequel?
Yeah, it's very all's well that ends well.
It's like, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It was a bad movie leading out to it, but just that last
I was
half
not
hour.
expecting this movie to be this bad. I just was not expecting this movie to be this bad.
Yeah. So
you want to explain our...
Yeah, so, okay, just a reminder, there's two different scales. It's either a diamond or it's a dud. Diamond is a legitimately good movie. We got, therefore, a scale from 1 to 5. A dud, it's a bad movie, but within that... 1 is like 1 or lower is like, oh god, shoot me. But a 3, 4, like if it gets higher, like it's the so bad it's good type of vibe. Like yeah, it's a bad movie, but man, I still have a spot in my heart, or it's just funny because it's bad. It entertains me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the risk. Where are you at on this?
I'll first say I'm on the bad side.
Oh yeah, me too.
I would say bad 3. I as much as I hate to admit it to myself, I found myself laughing at this movie. Yeah. Probably not the parts where Guy Ritchie or them, they wanted me to laugh at it, but I was laughing at this movie in a number of parts.
I was a dud as well. I was a little bit lower than you. I was a 1.5. Especially, honestly, if the ending with a sudden heel turn wasn't so jarring, I probably would have been up to a dud of about 3, 2.
Yeah.
But God, this sudden heel turn that wasn't foreshadowed anywhere.
No, it wasn't foreshadowed. It felt like, oh fuck, we forgot to have a bad guy.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like. It felt like, oh crap, we're almost done with the movie. We forgot to write in a bad guy.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like.
And the worst thing is, like, earlier in the movie, we talked about how, like, his whole fighting, how he's suddenly, like, the super fighter.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a fight at the end, like, between him and John Krasinski or anybody, paying that off. You know, because it wasn't. It was So this movie was just
This movie,
crap
this
all
this
over.
movie was crap. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought of it if you watched it, or God willing, you didn't. What's our next one going to be, Charles?
So going back in time a little bit, we're going to reevaluate the ultimately most reevaluated movie, and that would be we're going to sign up to no more. Starship Troopers, 1997.
I have a feeling, and this is not a feeling I thought I was going to have, Charles. I have a feeling that the CGI from Starship Troopers might be better than this.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll admit, and I'll leave us at this, I was not expecting that going into this.
Yeah, I know.
I was not expecting for probably a $200 million summer movie starring John Krasinski and Natalie Portman to have CGI from like 1974. Cool. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.